We're trying something new today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's The Success Codes podcast. Miracle says hi. I'll explain in a minute. I'm super excited and grateful that you're here with me today. And what we're trying new is using my computer in another room on Zoom, and then I will transfer it into my husband's computer, which hosts GarageBand, which is how we do our podcast. And the reason why is last week when I went back and listened to episode 78 to take some notes on what I said, I could hear backfeed, which is really just our air conditioner. And the fan blows and doesn't stop. And I don't know if that bothers people out there. I'm not super fussy. I'm more interested in amazing, mind-blowing content when I listen to a podcast versus if a dog's barking or anything like that, any background noise. I'm not fussy like that, but a lot of people are. In respect, I can understand. So I thought I'd try it this way. We'll see how it goes. This could be a complete debacle. And if my dog doesn't be quiet, then that will definitely be a debacle. But I thought I'd give it a shot and try a different room. So here we are. Tomorrow is my 53rd birthday. If you listened to last week's podcast, I openly, honestly, transparently, and maybe a little jarring for some, shared 3 top lessons and mistakes. And the reason why I shared those things is because it's stuff I see out there with other people. And I really want to help people see different patterns and blocks that they may have and be able to move through them faster, save time, money, and energy, right? And also know they're not alone if they have any of those things, because when we are entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, business owners, often we're operating by ourselves and we, don't know what we don't know. And we have shame and guilt and judgment around a lot of different emotions and things we go through. So that is one big reason why it's important to have a mentor or a coach. And if my podcast can help you with that in the process, then I'm just super grateful to be of service. So there we are. Today has been just a crazy day. I'm going to be sharing what happened and what's been transpiring for me and something intuitively that I've been trying to work through with my Manifest Your Dreams group tomorrow night, Sunday night, which would be tonight. That is a monthly online community for spiritually based people, and it's very goal oriented. It's very grounded. And there's something that's been going on that I have not been morally aligned to in someone else's community. And it's been quite a journey in terms of what is my code of ethics? How do I show up for people? And what is just truly aligned with spirit of the highest, and what is just not. And a huge journey, a huge shout out with love, even though she's not even online, to someone who's been my mentor behind the scenes since 2020, someone who's considered a recluse. She considers herself a recluse. And I'm going to be sharing that experience and that journey in my private container because that's where it should be shared. And anyone is welcome to join that container if you're of the highest of service to this world we live in, to people, and you wish to be able to understand the difference between ego and gifts, such as your intuition. You want to be able to open up your intuition even more, understand when you need to take action, understand when you need to listen, understand things you need to embody. And this is all a journey. Right. So obviously I've been going through this journey and with something, and it's really important to be able to be there for other people and support them in this journey. And that is my intention and why I have this group. Right. So if you're interested, the group is only $88 a month. Pay in full is $440 and you get a free activation. It is a membership. If you're in monthly, you can come and go monthly. It's fine. It's not a year-long commitment in that way. So I will put the link in the notes. But in conjunction to that, number one on my list, because this podcast is about my top 3 wins, and I have more than 3, believe me, I've written out so many, but these are 3 I'm going to share in this podcast. I'm just calling it top 3. And so in conjunction to what I was just sharing about what I'm going to be talking about in this group, Manifest Your Dreams, is that I move. I move. Movement is essential. It's critical. It's crucial. And I move. I've always moved. I moved when I was in high school and I didn't need to. And I shared that story a couple of weeks ago on a podcast. I move. If something does not feel right, I may do some work around it, like I did with this situation, like I've done with other things in my past. But then I move and I don't feel bad. I know in my soul that was the right decision. And yes, there may be some feelings that crop up in terms of sadness. For me, this is a sad thing. Or guilt, especially if there was money associated, or shame. But I know in my soul that this movement is a good thing. And I would say last year in 2023, it was the year of movement from leaders that do not show up in the right way. And what was so interesting, I had one over the summer, last summer, that it was a leader who was always saying she was a heartfelt leader. And I was like, gosh, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And I had personal experience with her. I counted them 4 personal experiences where she did not show up as a heartfelt leader. And I had said to a friend of mine who was also in the same group, I ended up sharing like one of the stories. I'm like, this is a fact. This is literally what happened. I will read you this text. I will tell you what happened. Like fact. Not from emotion, just purely from fact. And my friend was like, well, maybe she's busy. And, that's what we do. We make excuses for people. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like if you said the fact and your intuition's like, you need to move, you need to move. So that is it's just critical, and it's critical to things manifesting for you. It's critical to building the right relationships, meeting the right people, having the right experiences, shifting your energy. It is critical on so many levels. And I am really good with trusting my intuition and moving. And yes, I might, again, do a little bit of research, take some time with it, look at it from some different angles, definitely study the facts, but I do move. I move, and then I do not feel bad. So that would be number 1. And I'm sharing this with you so you can look at your life and go, do I move? Do I move quickly? Or am I still hanging out with the same people that aren't going anywhere fast? And I'm not going anywhere fast. And what I see out there is people that choose friends to make up for something else. And I'm going to challenge you to really look at that. So what does that mean? I'm going to give you some examples. I know people that have friends that have more drama and head shit going on with them, with like their friend, and that makes them feel better about themselves. I have friends or know people who have friends that are unhealthy, that are literally unhealthy. And then that makes them feel better about themselves if they want to eat a cookie, let's say. And that's just a small example, but I'm just putting it out there for context. I could go on, but really look at who am I hanging out with? Are these people that are at least on the same frequency wave as me? Or they are ahead of me so I can learn from them and it's a positive experience? Or are they people that I'm hanging around with so I can feel better about something that maybe I need to be fixing in my life, right? And it's truly something that could be very triggering and jarring for someone if you are that person. But this is meant then for you to look at this. This is what a good coach does, people. A good coach, good mentor makes you look at your shit. This is 100% my job. I'm showing up for my job, and this is free. So there you go. You're welcome. And it's just really important. Like when I look at all the people that I network with, that I have lunch with, or breakfast with, that I know, that I do things with, my husband, for example, like these are people that they're riding like a forward moving frequency. They want to get better. They are interested in personal development. It doesn't have to be spiritual personal development because it is not for everyone, but at least just personal development. They have goals. They're taking action. They're clearing through like any like limiting beliefs or belief system blocks. And I don't hang out with someone who's just constantly like running to the doctor. Like, no, like what's going on there? Why do you have back pain? Why can't you sleep at night? Like these are things that you can fix. Like there are things that are like not jiving, and get the real help for that. So this is really important. And again, I know this is some tough love here, but yeah, I'm stepping into my full Aries 3-5 generator self. So there you go. Number 2, what do I talk about? I have so many things. Owning my voice. So there you go. Perfect segue. I was just guided to say this one. Thank you. Owning my voice. Owning my voice. And that is my voice. I have a shit ton of experience. I do. Owning it. Owning that. Owning that I'm a contrarian. Owning that. Owning that I'm kind of sassy. Owning that. Owning that I'm fierce but fun. Owning that. Owning that I can be sarcastic. Owning that. Yes. Owning my voice. I'm an amazing writer. Owning that. And really not being afraid. And I share this with love to all of you out there who, again, are producing vanilla, nice content. And if you have a voice and you're hiding it, you're not doing yourself or the world any service. So in my podcast last week, I talked about nice posts, and this goes in that bucket. So last year, I can honestly say I started showing up and owning my voice. And one of the big pieces of that is the hard work. This next piece I'm going to share is the hard work, is that not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to like you. And what was really fascinating this past week is Grant Cardone, love him or hate him. I'm not here to talk about that. But Grant Cardone had his yearly 10X conference, and I have Kajabi on my phone. If you know what Kajabi is, this platform that houses online courses and events and things like that. So any online course I've ever bought from a coach that uses Kajabi, like everything's on that app. I think that's amazing. It's like one of my favorite things. So I looked back into Kajabi, and I've been watching Grant's 10X conferences since 2017. So I have like all the conferences, I think, except for like 2022. It looks like I didn't buy it or sign up for it or whatever, but this year was free online, which is very generous in my opinion. I know they try to sell you programs, and that's fine. Like I accept that. I'm a mature adult. But yeah, it was amazing. And I was really blessed that I was like home those 3 days. And since I'm used to the flow of his conference, I really just look for the speakers, right? So I'll be like, oh, I think it's probably about time for one of the speakers that he has. And sure enough, like my timing was great. So I still got a lot of work done. I wasn't just like sitting at my computer, my camera off, and I just tap in for what I want to hear. So he had Mike Tyson, amazing to listen to. Wow, that was mind-blowing. He closed with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Amazing. Arnold Schwarzenegger shared about how he really got started in real estate. He is one fucking lucky dude. Let me tell you. And maybe I don't know if I can really openly share a lot of this. I don't know. Grant had some contract thing. I don't think I signed it, but nothing's negative that I'm saying. It was great. I'm very grateful to Grant. So please follow Grant. Just a little plug for Grant. There you go. But that was amazing. But one of the things that I heard said that I thought was so compelling was Tim Story, who's been on Grant's event before, and he's a very famous coach. He coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and I think Dwayne, what's his name? Everyone probably knows who he is, but these famous basketball players. He's like a mindset coach. And I don't even like to use the word mindset because I think he's bigger than just a mindset coach, right? He's very impactful. He's fierce, and that's amazing. And he was asked afterwards, like, what did Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, what would you say made them as great as they were, right? That's a pretty big question, right? And he said very clearly, without hesitation, without any fluff, any pomp, nothing. He said they didn't care what others thought of them. Mic drop. They didn't care what others thought of them. And that's so true. That is so true. And that's actually, when you think about Grant Cardone, that's what makes him as successful as he is. He doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks about him. He does what he knows that he needs to do, and he has a vision, and he stays in alignment with that vision every damn day. That is what makes anyone successful. So why are we listening to other people if they don't like us? Why? Why would you ever do that? Ever, 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 ever. Why would you ever, ever do that? If you don't like me, you have free will. You can turn this podcast off. It is free will. We don't all have to like each other. There's 7.9 billion people in this world. So I was like, yes, that is so true. So number 2 is learning to own my voice. And I'm empowering all of you to please do the same. Stop listening to that little fear ego that wants to keep you small. It's like, oh, should I say this? That's not very nice. And no, someone's not going to like me. And someone's not going to follow me. Good. Goodbye. Goodbye. You weren't meant for me. You weren't going to buy from me anyways. That's what I tell my husband all the time. If they don't like me, they weren't going to buy from me anyway. So why do I care? Why do I care? They're not going to be friends with me. They're not going to collaborate with me. They're not going to be my client. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? Like, go free up the energy. Go, seriously, go. I could go on and on, but I'm going to move on to this one. But yes, owning my voice. And I'm going to say after this, the next one is I see the big picture. I have always been this way. I've always seen the big picture. Even if it's a small thing in front of me, I've still seen the big picture, and I'm very big picture focused and oriented. So even when I achieve something, it's always in alignment to the bigger picture. And then I still keep focused on the bigger picture. And this is truly lacking out there. This is really, really lacking. And how you can easily tell this is lacking is because people aren't doing the work. People aren't doing the work. Or they think, oh, it's going to be solved in 4 weeks. I'm like, no, it's not going to be solved in 4 weeks. This is like a lifelong journey for everyone. All of these things. Nothing's going to be solved in 4 weeks. Stop believing the shit that you see. I see things on Facebook. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you really post that? That should be illegal that you posted that. That's going to bring you a result like in a day. This is not how it works. So all of these things are your lifelong journeys. You want to work with someone who understands that, has the experience, has results experience, but knows it doesn't happen overnight. Hello, Melinda, raising hand high, age 53, and can hold the space for you, Isn't going to just treat you like a number, isn't going to treat you like another, like, oh, I made another sale today, and today I made $500,000 an hour. Like, stop. This is where we're going wrong in the coaching industry. So if you're a coach and if you're listening to this, if you're doing that, please stop. Because even though you may be making bank, let me tell you, your reputation out there is not going to sustain itself, because this is what is wrong. This is what I see that is wrong. And it's gotta stop. People have got to stop looking in the mirror and going, what is personal development? What is spiritual growth? Like, what does this mean? And like, how do we really, really help each other and support each other in this way? So I see this big picture. And honestly, this also goes hand in hand with owning my voice, because the thing that I was beating myself up on for years was I would see a big picture and I would be quiet. Oh, no, I can't say anything. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to piss anyone off. This goes against the grain. This goes against the narrative. This goes against what everyone else is talking about online. And then 6 months later, there'd be another coach that would start talking about something that I had been saying in my head or saying to my husband, but too chicken shit to talk about online. And then shit would start to move. And then I was not on the bus. I'd missed the bus. I missed the bus and I would be pissed off and beating myself up. So I stopped that. So I am openly speaking up about all of these things, FOMO marketing, how coaches have treated their clients like numbers so they can continue to brag and put more money into their wheelhouse. And you know what? We need to really care about each other. We need to be excited when we get a coaching client. We need to be excited that we help them. And that's actually one of the huge reasons of why I have moved on from someone that is going to be talked about tomorrow night in Manifest Your Dreams. Is because of the real lack of wanting to serve. And I think that that is just a huge piece of the moral code. So I just tidied it all up like a true speaker, where you start with the point and you end with the same point. So I'm very proud of myself. And there you go. So if you're interested in working one-on-one, let me know. Just email me at melinda@melindavanfleet.com. Everything is on my website, melindavanfleet.com. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And until next week, I wish you much success and hope you also crack the code. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.